are for the team over a fair amount of games at 85.7.
Which is pretty sick, because effectively what that means to people that aren't too up to date with the stats is he's doing 85.7 damage on average per round, which is obviously nearly a kill of damage, which is insane. Like yesterday, I think we had 150 ADR for Cyber Focus on one of the maps, which is just like absolutely phenomenal.
That's ridiculous.
Just ridiculous, disgusting amounts of damage. So it looks like we are going to get into the first round here, though, Joey, between ENCE and Penta. Of course, with this being the choice of ENCE, Penta have elected themselves a CT side, such is the way of CEVO, and they are going to be roaring on in with the Glocks here from ENCE. 3 monster 2 players. The bomb is there, almost setting up for this fake, but Tabson, we know how ridiculous he is with pistols. We've seen it time and time again. They're using a shutdown instantly from Sunny. Thunder's also going to fall from Lowell. Great trade from Penta. And the bomb has been dropped as well, so this entire fake has been found out almost instantly.
Yeah, what a decision from Penta to push 3 through Monster out of B. Works out perfectly. They find those people boosted, and once the person on the bottom dies, the guy up top really doesn't have much of a chance, and Lau manages to click on 2 heads right there. So now they've pushed forward a little bit more. They're not going to go all the way up to the club. A lot of corners. I guess they don't want to give up the bomb. Zart is defending there, though. He could be dangerous. Yuho's made his way around through A, along with that must be Alu as well. So they're trying to fight their way back in. They're gonna, pinch in on these CTs, but it's gonna be tough. And now Zart's been spotted. He threw a decoy up over and took so much damage for it. Doesn't seem like it was quite worth it. 4-on-2. Mike S gonna be spotted out in the back of the canal, and he will fall. So it's up to Alu and Yuho now to try to work their way around through these drains. They will split up, 1 through each drain.
Bomb's still down in the same position, so you can see multiple crossfires set down somehow, someway. Alu comes through with a frag onto Tarsin. They had no right to pick that one up, but now Yuho is surely a dead man. Lowell's there, picks himself up, his 3rd kill of the round. And Penta Sports, all off the back of that very quick, sneaky push through Monster, bagged themselves the first pistol round, which is going to do them the world of good. ENCE, without getting the bomb planted, you'd expect them to force up with Tech 9 armors here, and to try and get this done and break the economy of Penta, who have gone for SMGs, 2 of them actually, 2 MPs, 2 FAMASs, 1 M4. Pretty standard stuff on Overpass.
I kind of like that pistol shred, though. I mean, I can see it backfiring if you go to push through Monster with 3 and run into a whole team that's just running a Glock train over to B, but very likely in an official match, the team's just going to be playing it slow, maybe put 1 out there. And in this case, I mean, the strat works perfectly. You run into 2 stacked up with the bomb as they're trying to sell a fake. You pretty much won the round straight away. As now ENCE, like you said, with those Tech 9s with armor. Stonda still not going in for anything yet. Of course, they'll want to pull out that op as soon as possible, because it is Stonda that's the main op on this team, not Alu. I think that's, most people are going to know that by now. But we've got a TK. Mike S has gone down. Tapson will kill him, as well as bringing down Yuho, and now Stonda with the Glocks able to open up onto the site. Zart with his P250 finds Crystal, and now it's going to be up to Tass, and Lone Defender in this site. Gets into the smoke, somehow still alive. Nade's bouncing, and on 13 HP, still alive in the site. Lau, though, coming up, will drop the bomb, and then Stonda.
Well, Penta just about holding on. Normally you'd say, okay, pretty decent round from ENCE, but of course they did commit into that, and both the assault rifles do go through into the next round, so Penta can still build that economy back up again. There's no reason for ENCE to force by here. A lot of teams maybe would think about forcing if you took 4 weapons away from the CTs in this kind of situation, but with 2, it's
like
just not
Hellraisers,
worthwhile.
for instance.
Yep, exactly, like Hellraisers did yesterday, but they did it twice in a row, and it just really cost them horribly here on the CT side. So ENCE just going to bite the bullet, going to be tapping out of this round. And this is the chance now for Penta to get some farming effect from the likes of Mike S, who picks himself up the MP7.
I actually went back and was reading that post about, because we of course saw that post like halfway through map 1 about Kucher leaving Hellraisers and Smike being tried out. Smike is 17, man. He's a young talent because he was looking pretty good.
Ace!
Wow, we'll get the ace. Eco Cobra. Piss. Penta would be proud as Lau goes 10-0.
So I'm saying, they want to get the farm up with the MP7? Nope. The M4A4 just wrecks house through one start. It is brutal from a T's perspective if you get timed, because the entire spray is pretty much going to hit everybody as you just charge through there. It's such a bottleneck situation. Double AWP setup from Penta. This is ballsy, man. This early on?
Yeah. Kind of strange.
Jeez. You're expecting this maybe like round 8 or 9, but in round 4, this in itself, if you lose this round, they've committed so much into this. This could just be the economy breaking instantly if ENCE can get this for themselves. As I said, Stonda with the AWP. Alu, of course, has used it in the past. He's very capable of using it again on certain maps with double AWP is viable. But, jeez, man, Penta, this is like big balls right here. Like, I'm surprised they can move, just dragging along the floor.
It's also
really
pretty risky too, because you go for a double op this early and you happen to give that up to a team like ENCE with Stonda and Alu. I mean, I think if they win this round and drop one of those ops, they'll certainly pick it up and even go for a double up on the T side, as it's a little more workable on overpass, unlike yesterday where we saw that double up on Inferno. But here we go. MikeS brings down Yuho, and Stonda finds Crystal. Stonda getting his kill. Oh my gosh, over at short, and he gets MikeS crossing back from long. Sick, and he will not be caught off guard. He's aware, but misses the shot. Tapson will make him pay. Sunny, though, there on the trade out, and now ENCE 3-on-2. Those ops are all but gone now for Penta.
Exactly. And you're seeing the sacrifice there to make those double ops and not have that many grenades left. Alu gets the bomb planted, and Sunny's there watching his back. And the nightmare has become a reality for Penta, barring a sick clutch from Lowell. He is the top fragger. He did bag himself those 5 anti-eco kills, but there's Alu. And you can see the economy now from the CTs is going to be lackluster at best. I think we're going to see mid to high 2000s. Yeah, 3 players around 2k. But that, ladies and gents, is why you very rarely see the double up setup come in from a CT side on overpass in round number 4. Because that effectively just screwed themselves.
Yeah, that was pretty surprising. Generally, you'll just go for the one op, start your CT side off pretty standard, and then maybe if you lose the first rifle, you make an adjustment after you save, and then pull out double ops and try to go from there. Seems odd to start with it. I mean, I guess if it worked out, we'd be like, all right, it worked out. Now they've got double ops, everything's going great, but not the case. Got themselves in a bit of a pickle, but they will take an aggressive 3-man stack up there to the front of the bathrooms. Actually, everyone stacked up somewhat aggressively here. Out in middle, trying to get some quick frags, maybe take some guns away. This could be quite effective.
Yeah. See, a lot of teams in this kind of situation will play very aggressive, try and get up in the face of the Ts. This is why a lot of Ts in eco rounds, anti-eco I should say, will just play very passive and basically just say, come at us, bros. Because especially after that double up, they must know that the eco is a very real thing. They have got the trade with MikeS, but he will fall down, and really it's just a case of doing as much economic damage as possible now from Penta. They were hoping that a team made a mistake walking into bathroom and gift wrapped them a weapon for free. That hasn't happened, and now I feel like it's just a matter of a clean-up from the Finns. Crystal got spotted, didn't get fragged. I think Stone will be disappointed he didn't connect that one. But either way, ENCE now moving onto the B side, and this should be a free plant.
Yeah, so it looks like what they did catch Alu out of party, I do believe, with their one flash on the push, but only able to get that. And then Alu killed one, Stonda cleaned it up, and now they've rotated things around completely over to B. Crystal trying to hunt for those 1 deeks from up top in the window. Tapson, you know, he was standing his ground, but that grenade is going to take him down. And Lau will try to go for a suicidal push, and that'll end with ENCE getting a team ace here on round 5 and getting within 1 now, striking distance, tying it up. Double ops.
Double ops again.
Interesting.
I guess under these circumstances it makes a little bit more sense to just try and desperately claw back a few rounds by going for the double ops, but it didn't work last time. They just got picked off 1 by 1 from Stonda. So again, this puts them in a situation where their economy is going to be dire. To be fair though, the way it is, it would have been dire anyway the next round if they lost, even with M4s. But the reason why this hurts so much is because now MikeS has got no utility whatsoever. Tabs and Lowell are low on utility, so you kind of sacrifice a lot of that ability to force away the terrorists and keep them at bay for a bit longer. But Zarte gets caught from Tarsin's UMP. I think he was switching to a grenade, so very unfortunate timing from him. And Tabson comes in with his own frag, so a great start from Penta. But winning this round isn't enough. They need to win it with a bunch of weapons left as well. Otherwise, they'll be in still a horrible place. Tabson pushes up, turns to his left-hand side. The timing in this round has been brutal for both teams. And now in this 3-on-3, although Penta have double AWPs, they only have a HE and a flash to play with. This could be a very difficult hold for Penta.
How are they set up in B? MikeS is over at barrels. And I think he's playing so that he is blocked from that column, and then Lau's got the run-up if anyone comes off of sandbags. So B site is pretty much covered. Crystal's alone at A, which is a little worrying just because when you're playing in that A site, it's very, very hard to watch both short and long, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter because the execute's coming over here at the B site. Lau's in a great spot, but can't even come away with that one frag. Now it's up to Mike, has to hit some crazy shots. He can only find one of them before Stonda works his way around, takes him down with the Tech 9, and now Crystal from the window. Smoke everywhere. He's just making sure that no one's going to hop out of them. No getting out of the window. No damage taken there. We're straight on for that bomb, but he doesn't have a kit. Also a problem with these double ops. You talked about it. No utility, no kits as well. And a man coming out of Monster Crystal just missed him, but turns a ton to find Yuho. Peeks right back into Stonda, though. Stonda with 3K. And it's tied up 3-3.
And that's the issue as well, right? Like, you're thinking they went for double up setups, that neither of the ops really did a great deal in that round. It was mainly tabs, and it was mainly the up-close and personal confrontations that went the way of Penta. Even a UMP bagged itself a kill, so you're thinking, okay, you've invested a lot of money, you sacrificed utility, you sacrificed more defuse kits, which, by the way, if he'd just held down that defuse, he probably would have got it if he had a kit, because both the Ts were out of position. So, I don't know, man, it's like double ops twice, neither times have they worked, and now they're screwed again. So ENCE are in a fantastic position on their T side. Sonny's called this, he's gone for the Mac 10. And this could be devastating for Penta if he was to just charge in by himself. You'd fancy him to get a couple of kills. Another stack, this time it's over on the B side with just Crystal in connector.
Yeah, I like though that Penta's always been willing to do something interesting on their eco rounds, right? We saw them in their first eco round, they went over into the bathrooms and had a nice little stack, and maybe that could have worked out. It did come away with a kill onto Alu. Even in the pistol round, right, that aggressive push out of B with 3 players was pretty nice to see, and then even here we see them going into construction and trying to clear things out, you know, in a pack mentality. And I like that, just to see a strat formed up on rounds like this, the eco rounds, to give you the best chance possible. But then what I don't like is why have you then gone for double ops on both your rifles? It's so weird.
And the question for me now is, the next time they have enough, maybe double ops, do they go for it again? Or do they learn from the mistakes?
Third time have the charm.
But they may have that much confidence. I think we can make this work. I hope that's not the case, because as I said before, typically where they've got their kills is up close in these kind of crossfire situations. I don't feel the double ops is really a worthwhile endeavour. They have enough if Mike S wants to go for an AWP here, and indeed he does. He didn't have enough to afford 2. And let's see if the 4 AK, I only said 4 AKs, the 4 M4s I should say, is going to be good enough to repel the Finns this round. I heard you say good there, you're happy.
Yeah, not enough money. Good to see a proper round here from Penta, I think. As they will get aggressive over into the stairs. Mike S and Crystal setting up a... Where did they actually... Okay, they'll give it up anyway. The quick boost, I think they were they boosted up and then looking out the window to the drain. I think that's what they did.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It was kind of hard to tell from the camera. But they were looking for Zart, which, if they were just a bit more patient, they would have found. But they didn't want to expend any utility. If you really want to hold that boost, you're going to have to smoke off the bottom of the stairs yourself. Generally, when you go and set up for that, you're hoping that the terrorists are going to throw it themselves. And then you can just boost over it. But
yeah,
remains at 5-on-5.
Super aggressive play as well, Joey, because if someone comes up behind them there, it's like 2-3 kills. Like, you're just going to get wrecked. So... ballsy again, Penta. I can definitely respect that they're trying to force these unorthodox plays with the double AWPs and the boosts and whatnot at random times. Here comes the pop flash. Alu's going to go head to head with Tapson, who comes out looking for the second kill, can't get it done. I think he felt forced into going for that, realizing the rest of the Ts would have been turning the screws behind him from bathrooms. He just wanted to get 2 players before he fell down. Ordinarily, you'd just like him to back off and take the 1-man lead. I think he called that situation perfectly. 30 seconds left, by the way, and ENCE haven't really made a move. They're going to be forced now to go onto the B side. Zate with a nice entry frag onto Crystal. And meanwhile, Yuho is going to be coming up through long. This is an important kill. If he can land one onto Bank, this could open up things nicely for the Finns.
That's 3-on-3 right now. Penta holding the back lines of the site here. Tassin will actually fall. He kind of peeked out a little wide, and Mike S has been pushed back over here to the van. Unable to get anything done with that op just yet, and ENCE will work themselves in and plant that bomb. You can see Zart falling back. They're on short A to watch the flank, but that's unnecessary as I believe they know where Lao is, and it's 3 versus 1. He makes his way over to Optimus. Sunny with 4 HP will take a quick look over the sight box. He'll go down. Now they know where Lao is 100%. Yuho backs off over to Long. Zart holding back there on short, not giving him a peek, and Lao will have nothing to do but run away. He's got no kit.
Did he just jump shot him?
Maybe. Jumping accuracy for the A4 is what the best in the game, I'm pretty sure. And that guy did only have 4 HP, so I don't know.
Dude just got jump shot, get wrecked. Oh dear lol. No AWP save for you today, get wrecked by the bomb.
I like Twitch chat. This isn't an RTS, T-Tours. We're not wrong.
Oh, Penta just can't catch a break, man. They go for these buys, they're getting some kills, they got 30 seconds left, I'm thinking, okay, it's a 3-on-3, 30 seconds, ENCE. How's your entry fragging? And then Zarte just wrecks house. Worrying for Penta here. The only reason they have 3 rounds is because they won the pistol. This would be an absolute horror show if ENCE won that pistol round. You'd be looking at maybe even 8-0 at this point.
That guy died, by the way. Trying to save that M4?
Yeah. It's brutal.
It's pretty bad. So, certainly interesting, as Sunny will bring down Lao, and it's going to be up to Taplin here on the B site to do things. Looks like he does have support coming in over on his right, but Tass had smoked off on sandbags, and everything's falling apart.
So, perfect clean sweep from ENCE. Here comes another buy. They have the option of double orbs. Crystal, don't do it. Don't do it, Crystal. M4. Yes. They've learned. I'm proud right now, Penta. I'm actually proud of them.
Yeah, I'm not yet.
How demoralizing must this be for Lowell, though? 12 for 5, joint top fragging, like identical score to Sunny, and his team is still getting wrecked 6-3. Fair enough, 5 of those kills were in an anti-eco, but still, like, he's
he had
well.
like 10 kills going into round 3, so yeah. he was king of the ecos. He's since got 2 kills going into the rifle rounds, so I don't know if he can be that upset.
Just needs someone else on his team to step up. So boost up from Flowerbed, from Penta. Going for the boost as well through the window in the bathroom. Decide against it with the smoke, and they may even think about trying to be cheeky and have a quick look through here. They're going to be boosting over it. Yeah, it's a really solid boost. If someone comes out of connector or comes down the steps, it will be a dead man. Stonder's going to be coming up with his AWP. This would be a big scalp to take. They've smoked it again so they can continue in this position, but the flashbang lands right in Crystal's face. Oh, ENCE are going to pre-fire this spot. Stonder's been spotted, and it's not going to work for Penta, so they expend 2 smokes. Quite a bit of utility for a CT side on trying to get that first pick, and it simply doesn't pay off.
I like the idea. I mean, you can see, like, a team that's less patient clearly would have pushed out down those stairs, like, out of party or up the stairs even. From connector, and that would have been an easy first kill, but now taps in, getting a little antsy. He's going to push forward for information. Gets off down by Stonda, who was waiting there in the connector. Now it's going to be up to ENCE. It looks like Sunny flashed the crap out of himself and just trying to enter onto the B side. Still may not matter. Laudo holding out in pit, unable to get anything done. Zart will take him down, and now it's ENCE 4-on-2. Mike S is still here with his op, but Zart give him a quick peek. And Zart, one of the quieter members of this ENCE lineup, is just ripping him a new one over here on the B site.
Yeah, he's got some pretty big impact kills. He's only got 6 kills, but at least 3 or 4 of those have been entry frags in big moments of the match. So now Crystal picks up the AWP from Mike S and try and save this one from himself. He's about to get pushed, and Alu, with the reaction speed, just destroys him. ENCE will pick up their 7th round, and Penta back onto another horrible situation where they could force up a buy. I feel like maybe pistol armors is the order of the day, and they're going to call the pause. Understandably so. This is a tactical pause, I am sure of it. Going to try and get as many rounds as possible here on the CT side, give themselves a chance to go through on that T side, but it's hard really for me to pinpoint the problem. They're just being outclassed in every single way right now.
Yeah, well, the problem started when, you know, very convincing on the pistol and the anti-ecos. Well, I guess one of them was a bit close, but that didn't matter too much. It's just the first rifle round, the decision to go for the double ops. That put their economy in turmoil for basically 2 rifle rounds, especially when they went to go for it again. So economy's been bad for Penta, a little bit of lack of utility, a couple rounds that maybe a retake was possible. They didn't have a kit in response, so things were bad right away. And then they have slowed it down. They have gone back to just a one-op setup with some rifles. trying to make some aggressive plays on the CT side. Like in that last round, we saw them expending those smokes over there in short A, trying to get a nice little pick over it, just unable to do anything. ENCE are patient, they're clearing everything, and when they're taking sites, they're hitting their shots, and Penta simply aren't hitting theirs when they're left on a site with no utility, just taking aim battles. They're falling short big time, and ENCE are crushing them, honestly. 7 rounds in a row now.
Yeah, most of these rounds haven't even been close. We haven't really had clutch potential, other than Crystal's 1v2 clutch where he didn't have a defuse kit, but even then that was asking a lot. Other than that round, it's been pretty much one-way traffic to the Finns, so I feel like maybe some of the desperation plays may start to come in here, maybe get more control over connector, see if you can start getting some better spawns to peeking Fountain and try and catch ENCE unawares. Because ENCE right now just look like a well-oiled machine in Overpass. Like, we were wondering, it's not a map that they've played a great deal of in the past. It's a map that Alu maybe not the most comfortable on, but they have been playing this a lot, and they have been practicing a lot of this map the last couple of weeks. So I was curious just to see what they'd be bringing to the table, and so far I've got to say I've been very impressed. And it seems the call has been made, the judgment has been passed. Penta will be forcing up this round with FAMASes and an M4. So this, for me, is a key round in this half. If they lose this, ENCE will be looking towards that double digits 10 round mark on their T side. If Penta can take this, then who knows? Maybe they just run away with it and they bring us back to an 8-7 scoreline. This is massive.
And I like this. Penta takes a pause and ENCE are like, yeah, whatever you talked about, we don't care. They're just going to change the pace completely and rush straight into the B site. Because generally it's been ENCE being patient, waiting out aggression, and waiting out utility, because they knew that Penta's money was never good, and then pretty much taking sites for free at that point. Now, pedal to the metal, bomb has been planted, Penta are already going to have to make this round a forfeit and run to the hills, have a picnic, and save these rifles.
Which is the correct decision. So that somewhat takes away what I was saying before about how important this round would be, and ENCE should be bagging themselves a couple of rounds afterwards. The fact that Penta have quickly read the situation, like, okay, yeah, we can't afford to try and get this retake, we need some weapons to have a fighting chance in the next couple of rounds. That's good, it still gives them options, but I agree, ENCE's decision to just fast push B was inspired. That was fantastic. You saw Penta only had 1 player there. They actually stacked 4 players and went super aggressive in bathroom, and ENCE just destroyed them. That's a pretty nice pickup, though. Tabson with the double is going to trade off his FAMAS for an AK and then drop that to his teammates. So it's a healthy buy now for Penta. At least they've got another crack at bringing themselves back to equality in this map. But the way ENCE have been playing, Joey, I mean, can you see them really getting dethroned from this point? They've looked unstoppable.
Not really, and that kill's nice. It puts some more money onto the CT side since they get that AK, and then people saved and can drop, but it really didn't even put a dent in ENCE. They have so much money. Like, every person started this round with at least 5 digits of money. A lot of digits. It's more digits than I have.
Same. Feels bad, man.
Esports life. Maybe one day I'll be like Stewie2K and I can put a $sign in my name, but that day is yet to come. So, an aggressive play again from Penta. A lot of real estate taken around bathroom. This is a key frag from Crystal, and he's missed it and barely did any damage to Yuho. How does that even happen? He had the drop on him, he had the positional advantage, the flashbang came through, he knew he was getting pushed. Yuho missed his first couple shots too.
Yeah, it was such a sloppy contention from Crystal. You're seeing the impact that's having on the rest of his teammates. It then funnels them into multiple angles to cover, and they just can't deal with the pressure. But maybe Penta can retake the site. It's a big kill from Tarsin. It gives him a fighting chance. Yuho's on the bomb site itself, but he doesn't have the bomb in his hands, so he's going to have to wait a little while longer. That's a big kill. Tarsin and Law both trying in for kills, and now it's Lanzarte. 35 seconds. The bomb in front of him, but it's in an awkward position. And Penta know exactly where it is. Here comes the smoke. He must know one's players on truck. He's going to pre-fire the spot. He's actually going to pick that bomb up. And I think he's trying to fake as if he's going towards the B side right now. He's giving it away. And now he decides to turn tail and run. But again, it's a fake. And Penta,
it worked.
They have bought this one, Lowell. Oh, it's such unlucky timing. Zorte's going to push this. He needs to kill in the next couple of seconds. He can plant this bomb. Jumps up, gets the frag. And he will get the plant as well. And now Tarsin realizes he's been fooled. Good news for him. Zarte is low. He spotted the head of Tarsin, bobbing up and down, weaving, and he can't get the kill. Tarsin with the re-fragging. Well, there you go. Penta will be bagging themselves their 4th round. The bad news is now, Joey, it's the same situation as yesterday with Hellraisers. They win a round, but they clear the round loss bonus, and they only kept 1 player alive. So their buy coming into this next round is going to be pathetic compared to ENCE's.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty dicey. At the end of the day, ENCE drop a round, which, you know, I guess isn't ideal, but it's going to make the next few rounds so much easier, especially if they win this one. Again, lackluster buy going to come into it for Penta. If they lose it, money hard reset. They're going to be in so much trouble. It would mean ENCE. Well, this would make it 9-4 if ENCE win this one. They probably get another 2 off of that. Like 11 rounds more than likely in the half. Well, that would be 11-4. So Penta at some point would start forcing up because we're approaching the end of the first half. But either way, there could be massive implications because of that round and what it's going to do to the economy. Op will come out on Mike S. Crystal's got that UMP. And I must say, good attempt there by Zart, right? Generally, the quieter player, the support player for this team, trying to get it done 1v2. Pulls off a pretty convincing fake and nearly wins it, but falls a little bit short. And here's Tapson getting aggressive with Tassin. They will find that opening frag, and there's Crystal with the yump. So big, important round, and they're hitting their shots. But Stonda does reply back, and did spot a man jumping as well. Imagine he got him to the boards.
I'd have been done at that point. It wasn't too far off either.
No, he wasn't.
Nice little reaction shot onto Crystal as he jumped up with the UMP. I think Crystal originally was biding his time, hoping that a couple of players stacked up through connectors, so you get the double spray down with UMP. You have to be very careful with your shots with UMP. It doesn't obviously have as much shred as an M4 and an AK does in that position, and less bullets, if we're talking about the A4. But either way, Mike S is looking up there. He's peering. Alu is just a couple millimeters away from death if he peeks it with that flashbang, and the smoke on point. It's going to keep Mike S at bay. Again, we're going to be executing with 35 seconds from ENCE's perspective, and they have fallen a couple of players short. Tabson's starting to wake up from his sleep. Stonda's the next in line, but he picks up 2 kills himself. This is so dicey for Penta. They needed to start winning some rounds with weapons remaining, and Stonda may not be done just yet either. He could pull this clutch off. Oh my goodness, they nearly lined up for a double. Jesus. Penta just about hold on, and we'll be picking up an AWP, but man oh man, is this getting closer than it needs to be. That was a 4v2, and ENCE nearly picked it off.
I thought he hit the double for a second. Same. I was about to flip out. That would have been ludicrous. Good attempt for Stonda. He gets the money, or gets the money. I mean, that's what happened, ultimately. He gets the bomb down, and he gets more money for his team, so they're sitting again for a comfortable buy. They'll even have 1 more if they lose this rifle. That's how convincing that streak of 7 rounds was, or 8 rounds was, for ENCE. They're able to buy this round in full and even the next one with maybe a little bit of utility. And here's Penta with the double ops coming back out, this time everyone with armor kits and utility. This is what they wanted to do, how they wanted to start this half, but it failed miserably. Let's see if later on with the double ops they'll have more success.
Maybe feeling a little bit more. Ooh, the headshot just spots a millimeter of bobbing up from Rock, and he's able to convert it into a frag. Pixel perfect shot. And now this alleviates a lot of the pressure on Tarsin. And also Tabson, who are occupying bathroom. But Tarsin goes walkies and he gets punished. Tabson witnesses his teammate die in front of his eyes. Will they expect the double stack? Probably not. But the way that ENCE have been performing so far, they've been checking every single corner. And they do check it, but Tabson's up to the task. 19 HP though. And surely he's not long for this world. There we go. Sunny puts him down, gets revenge for his fallen comrade. And with a minute to go, we're in a 3-on-3.
It was kind of odd to peek out of the bathrooms, especially because the player that was sniping at long, which was Crystal, spotted 2 people. So the call must have been made that someone was there, and they kind of break the rule of 5 versus 4. They peek out looking for more and die. There was no... I mean, if they had both peeked out together, perhaps, and were able to trade that out, and then maybe that's better. You end in a 4-on-3, but now... a couple kills going ENCE way since then, and it's even back up to 3-on-3, and that's certainly going to favor the terrorists. As they are working their way up the sandbags here. Good little nade from Lau. They're tagged up. Mike S hitting a slowed down target. That's Sunny, who has fallen out of this round. Zart going to jump across, though. Gets to the supporting column. Hoping to find someone in pit or window, but no one's there. It's Stonda who will jump up, take Mike S out of graffiti, and I think they are aware. Oh, bomb was down in a very awkward spot. That Lau is at graffiti, and Crystal's now been spotted at sandbag. So both players here on the CT side position is no. Crystal trying to hit a tough shot. Actually, I think he did. Zart down to 11 HP right now. Lau trying to line up some spams. I think they knew they were low. Crystal going to flash up. Has to push through the fire now, taking some damage. That will have been hurt as well. Goes up. Nice hops there. Bringing down the pain on top of Stonda. Will drop the smoke. Tap the bomb. And it's up to Zart now, who is not going to fall for this initial fake. He's still just taking his time here on the Catwalk will hear it again. Goes in for the spray. Lands one shot, but he's not landing him enough. Goes in for the knife and then lands literally. Impales himself onto the op of Crystal.
I have no words. It's like
What a round.
The sloppiest 1v1. First off, Crystal dupes this opportunity, makes noise after faking it, so Zarte knows it's a fake, which is why he stayed on short in the first place. And then, where's the communication? Like, no, it's to the left, spray through the left-hand side. Like, where is that? Because he missed almost every single bullet through the smoke. What the hell? Also, the 2v2, Crystal had a flashbang, didn't use it until it was a 2v1. There's no communication with that push onto the site from Penta. They got so lucky to win that round. Either way, through on to the final round of the half and 1-1 trade right off the bat. Very quick frag. Stonda and Tabson both taken out. Zarte's on 13. And you'll have to put that whiff in the back of his mind. That's the kind of stuff that can tilt you, especially if you're an emotional player. I know it'd tilt me personally, I'd be done. But here we go. Calm falls on the battlefield. I think the stream just went down. Rip him pepperonis.
Yeah, I think so as well, but I think we might be back. We're back! Alright. Oh! Either way, I think Crystal is about to have that one, but Mike S will take it away from him. Yuho has been fairly successful at jump spotting over at long and not being punished for it, but, you know, maybe one round too many. And it couldn't have come at a better time for Penta, as they're actually starting to put together a half here, and what was looking like it could just be an extremely one-sided match. An 11-4 half, maybe even 12-3 at one point for ENCE, has now evened up to be 7-8. So honestly, the best that Penta can hope for after their rocky start.
Absolutely. They were looking dead and buried at one point. We had, what, a 3-9 scoreline, I think? And I was thinking, okay, ENCE have got this. Like, there's no way that they get anything less than 10 rounds in this half. But now it's looking like they're only going to come out with 8. And if Penta win the pistol, which we know they're very strong on normally, then anything can happen. But let's not count Sunny out just yet. He only has 14 seconds. He's about to get pincered from Crystal through the smoke, and he's going to whiff his opportunity. In actual fact, has to tuck his tail between his legs and scamper away. And then meanwhile, Mike S will put Sunny 6 foot under. So Penta will have a 7th round. And I've got to say, a decent comeback. But make no mistake, ENCE are still on the driver's seat. They're now going through into the favourable side of the CTs. And a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Penta.
Yeah, I mean, how many of those? How close were those last 4 rounds? So 1 person surviving on round 12, 2 on round 13, 1 on round 14. So all in all, like, ENCE was still doing a pretty decent job, and every single one of those rounds was a plant. So it looks like when ENCE were kind of pressured, they got into those post-plant situations that were either even numbers, like low, thinned out, you know, numbers like 2 versus 2 or something like that, or even in a couple cases it was against them. It was 1 versus 2 in a post-plant. They were just unable to win out in those clutch after-plant situations. So just maybe that late round post-plant communication and teamwork for ENCE was a little lacking when they got tested late in that first half on their T side, because Penta were able to come up with 4 really, really key and really, really close rounds.
Exactly. And I do wonder about those clutches, some of them being very fortunate clutches, in the sense of Crystal against Arte. Then this would be a completely reverse situation where Penta would be staring almost defeat already. So they can count themselves lucky. There's still a long way to go before this map is theirs. Of course, if you have just joined us, this is ENCE's choice of map. And they will be feeling pretty strong now going through onto the CT side. But let's see if Tabson and co have anything in store. This guy's a monster with pistols. He didn't have much of a chance in the first round when he pushed through Monster and suddenly found himself 2 terrorists just stood there who executed him instantly. They did win that pistol. And let's see if they can follow suit here as well. Looking from the setup, it's just going to be a little bit of utility on Crystal with a smoke and a flash. The rest of the players opting for Glocks with Kevlar.
Well, let's see what Tabson can do. I've very often called him the Pistol God. And they will actually turn him into the raid boss. He's got armor as well as a P250 here on the pistol. Yuho with a CZ, so that's the strongest pistol on the field for sure. And surprised they don't actually throw it to someone with armor. Stonda's got a kit and some utility in that smoke. Same thing for Crystal. He's got a flash and a smoke. So I think both teams have an idea. Penta is set up and ready to go here in the connector. But will they explode out up the stairs into middle? Looks like that's where they will go. Tabson checking everything right now.
Yeah, got to be so careful. One sneaky CT can really ruin any push. And there is the man. The myth stands tall. Picks off Stonda as he tries to relocate, but now Alu stands tall himself. He's bagged himself 2 kills. Zarte comes in with 1 as well. And suddenly, this is flipped completely on its head. You're thinking this should be an easy round for Penta. But instead, it's all on Crystal. He does get the drop onto Zarte. And will take his P2000. The bomb is at least in a retrievable position. It is out in the open now. He's got that P250. This is where things are doable, where the impossible becomes possible, but not today. Crystal taken down with these ENCE. Big kills from Alu and Zarte there to turn the tides of what looks a very one-sided round.
Yeah, looked like things were going to go fantastic for Penta. As soon as they burst up those stairs, Stonda took a shot and then actually got killed on the fallback, went down for free. But that all comes down to Alu. 2 sick shots with that P2K defending on the site, and that really took the wind out of the sails of Penta. And the ship went down shortly thereafter. So pistol round going over to ENCE. That means 1 pistol round each way, and both teams getting it on the CT side. Tassin looking for a Huandig, trying to find it over the wall. Can't. Tassin's like, I was using that door, excuse me. That's pretty funny.
Salty.
Took a lot of damage from that nade too. Ooh, Zart with the back.
Tassin down to 23 all through the wall, I think, and the grenade beforehand. That's rough. Nice setup from ENCE. They got the firepower in the form of the M4s. You get some farming done with UMP. And they got the scout as well, where they can hold Penta at arm's length and just wreck them. Really like this setup. And they still have plenty of utility to play with. A bunch of flashbangs, got a defuse kit. Penta could still burst onto the site, though, and claim some frags for themselves. A very aggressive initial charge from Stonda and Yohuz just to make sure that no one was lurking around connector or in bathroom. So now they can pretty much put their eggs in this B basket. The problem is, though, there's still a lot of time to play with, so you have to be careful about the connector push. But here we go. Set play is in effect, and Sunny stands tall. The best player in the first half. Lowell's there as well with a Tech 9, so not a bad little chain of events, and that could put the bomb down. The UMP spray is just slightly off. That's so unfortunate through the smoke, so the bomb will get planted, but it should be an easy cleanup from here on out, Joey. And there we go, yeah, Zarte just wrecking house.
Man, those counter flashes were so unbelievably on point from ENCE. Penta hand over face for like 10 seconds straight as they were trying to come out of Monster, and ultimately, the bomb should have never gone down, but Zart, you know, he was shooting people through walls earlier, so we had to, you know, he took us off the scent. He just whiffed some shots there on the guy in the smoke. We know what you're really about, Zart. But
yeah.
No, nice 2 kills for him. That second one, the fadeaway falling headshot, it was like the last bullet. That'll be 10-7.
Just imagine if someone was, like, wall hacking. I'm not accusing the wall hacking before anyone gets mad. But if you were,
I'm triggered.
You probably would throw a couple of really, like, key clutch rounds just to throw people off your scent and then just wreck people through walls, like, 2 rounds afterwards.
Like, no, I'm not, like, but I couldn't kill that man through the smoke. I'm not cheating.
As Zeus on Crystal, I think we talked about Tarek yesterday. He does this sometimes in Ecos.
Some high-pressure rounds, too. He was getting some kills. It's a little different on Train, though, because think of how many, well, trains there are that you can just kind of hide behind if someone walks close. It's a fun little thing. Now that it doesn't give any money, but it's still like, it's pretty dumb. Just the 1 kill potential is ridiculous. The fact that like you can just Zeus armor and get, you know, $3,000 for free.
Rip Zarte from behind. They get double sprayed on the UMP, and it is definitely a expendable weapon. Not a big deal if you lose that, but it has not been picked up for Crystal. No Kevlar on the side of Penta, but Lowell just peeks around the corner. Double shot Alu. The first one was a headshot. A spray in from Sunny. Runs out of bullets. It's going to cost him his life, but Penta will take 3 players down in an eco. That's definitely job done as far as they're concerned, but now they're going to have to do something with that, with the AKs. And also people saying NA casters in chat. Do I sound American to you guys? Like, for reals, though?
Drop the fake accent, we know.
I'm triggered now, man.
I see you on camera. You're wearing a cowboy hat. I see those sick boots as well. Snakeskin jacket.
You got me. I'm actually in Texas, so.
See that I see that porterhouse off to the side. We got. I shouldn't have brought up food. What a mistake. We got 1 op on both sides. Crystal, though, will be going glass cannon here on the T side. Stonda with everything to work with and an eagle to fall back on. Trying to take some spam shots through the triangle. That might actually cost him. Stonda shoots, gives away his position, but fantastic flashes and support That's what I love to see. And that's Yuho as well as Alu that were really helping out there. Alu actually found a kill, I think, over in the bathrooms as a Penta member that was Tamsin was trying to take him down.
So again, Penta. It's all well and good taking weapons away from ENCE, but it's more of a long game perspective. Like, the idea is you gently and slowly whittle away the economy, so eventually enter into a forced eco earlier than they ordinarily would be. But if you then go into your rifle round and just get wrecked right off the bat and don't do anything with this, then that round means nothing. That previous round means absolutely nothing at all. So Penta, you still have 4 players alive, you still got the AWP, the glass cannon AWP in the hands of Crystal. What do you do with this? Yuhu, with fast reaction speed, puts down Tarsin with ease. And it's gone from bad to worse. Ooh. Another frag. Another one. What
nice. Quality
seconds. Rip Penta. You're not getting anything done from here, boys. I'm sorry. Rip.
Man, that second kill by Yuho is crazy. To expect someone to hop up on that, but then be watching sort of over the ledge of the cafe there and take them down in a bit of an off angle, that was nice. Yuho really starting to show what he is about as a player. He's crazy good. Crystal now just trying to back off of this 1 versus 4. Well, it's caused a little bit more damage. Time is getting low. Don't die after time, and it doesn't look like he will. He's still going in for more, Crystal!
Alright, mate. I was like, they're not getting anything from this round. Okay, get 4 kills. What? That could force him into a buy here, Penta.
Imagine if he died, though. He would have had $500 only.
Yeah. Yeah, super ballsy. But they may think about forcing this, knowing that ENCE have lost a lot of players the last couple rounds. Okay, it's still going to be a half buy, so they don't decide to go all in for this one. But ENCE's economy, like, they get a decent buy here, but you can see by looking at the economy, only 2 players have, like, $1,000. Everyone else is almost at 0. So, if Penta can do significant damage this round as well, maybe the comeback is still on.
Yeah, what's the bonus now? Oh, it's max bonus, yeah, so Penta's in a fantastic spot. I mean, they can still put a lot of pressure on this round because they've got that up, and that's already found a first pick onto Alu, so he's got to be a little disappointed. And then Tassin, Mike S, and Lau can still be a little dangerous. Capson with his P250, never count him out even without armor, and he does have some utility to boot. So Penta armed and dangerous, even if they lose, will be coming out with a full-strength rifle. If they can make it somewhat expensive, as you mentioned, keep that economy in check, ENCE will have either an eco or a miserable buy coming out next round. Yuho in the bathroom can maybe make the difference with Lau coming up the steps at the perfect time, timing it there with the footsteps of his friends coming out of mid and party. Catching a CT player between 2 mindsets, and, well, Penta on this round looking really, really good. They've brought all those rotations. Actually, I think one's in the window, that might be Zart, but heavier defenses on the A site as they are going to be, so it seems to be the right guess.
Yeah, ENCE just hoping for the best here. Plus the fact their economy is so bad, if the bomb is to get planted, I would expect to see a full save come from the rest of the players. So I think this is the idea. Stack the same site. If the bomb goes down, save 2 weapons. Keep the AWP and the M4 alive. And they're about to just get it confirmed that the bomb has been planted on B, so I'm going to go and save 1 long. This is the correct decision for me. ENCE probably will not be able to get a buy behind this unless they feel like they can run with pistols. Other than that, it's unlikely that we're going to have like a full buy. At least a full buy with a solid amount of utility, which is really required on a map like the CTs. But maybe if they put a lot of confidence in Stonda with the AWP, as I say that, he gets picked off from Tabson, so that's no longer an issue to contend with. Because now only 1 weapon is going to get saved, which really does almost answer the question for me. I'm pretty sure we're not going to see a buy in the next round from ENCE anymore. Definitely not when something gets caught. So Penta, with a really poor buy, it was like an AWP with like Deagle and Tech 9s, managed to get it done against ENCE, and their economy now is in the bin. Like, they are done. So this is Penta's chance. Double up setup on T side. This is always a bit worrying though. When you know you're against pistols with a double up setup, if you get charged down and rushed, then you can actually start conceding weapons. And they've gone for the Force. I guess the idea here for the Force is like, we have to double eco anyway, boys, so I think they'd had enough. They had like 2 or 3 players at $2,000.
They're just big Star Wars fans.
The Force is with them?
And the double ops are with Penta. On the T side, I mean, I'm going to have to ask Tapson later on, like, what's going on? Why do you guys feel the need to double up so often? Kind of weird. That will slow things down here for Penta, and it's going to be up to Tassin, Tapson, and Lau to really try to clear everything out and make it so that Mike S and Chris can move up safely, because ENCE will be dangerous. They're going to take a little look over at middle and then start dropping back as Tassin will bring down Zart, and they're going to run right into Sunny. He's got the FAMAS, catching some people with knives out, but only able to come away with the one frag, and actually not even another point of damage to anybody else. And that is pretty much just the FAMAS spray. Uncontrollable, like a wild Mustang.
Double up setup still in play from Penta. The issue is, if they get up close and personal here, ENCE, there will be kills ripe for the taking. It's down to a 2-on-2. This is where you start to get worried for the terrorists. Lowell is going to almost whiff his entire spray. He's down to 6. This could play into the wheelhouse of the CZ. Just one bullet and Lowell is a dead man. The issue now is Mike S, who's got the AWP, but he's going to manage to charge across.
That was a dink.
It was actually a dink from Alu. That is so unfortunate. But Penta just about, by the skin of their teeth, surviving, and because ENCE went for that force buy, it's unlikely Penta are going to get punished.
Well, obviously we need to buff the CZ, right?
Let's make it even more powerful, mate. 50 bullets in the magazine. Let's go.
Needs that one shot kill potential back.
Mini P90.
But man, sick aim there from Alu. I thought for a second, like, pretty strong position with the CZ. Doesn't need a lot of bullets to kill 2 players, and that one guy was super low. There was a chance he could do it, but no. He'll come up short. Penta do convert the round. Only 2 members surviving, though, so it was still pretty close, but that was a force up by ENCE. Now they'll have to go in for more or less a full eco here. Sunny gonna try to get a quick peek through the short drain. Zart supporting him, but he will actually be the first to fall. Then Sunny on the fallback at Sandbags is able to bring one down. That's Tassin. Yuho moving up. USP Ninja. Is he just going to push straight through this? He'll go over onto the site. They both go up on the boxes. It's done. Comes away with the frag onto Lau. Bomb not planted just yet. 3-on-3. Yuho's close and personal right now. He's making out with Mike S over there in the smoke. What's going on? And Alu rotating over with this CZ again. 1-on-2 with a chance.
Just consistently, when you think ENCE have no hope in rounds, they are somehow pulling out all the stops. And now Alu with the AWP. The bomb has traversed over to the A side and will be planted from Crystal for bank side. This is rough now for Alu, and I think really he's just going to think about saving this AWP. They will have enough to buy next round regardless, but is there any hope of him retaking a 1v2 with no Kevlar, only a flash and no defuse kit? What's his confidence like? Does he have the trust in himself? The answer is a resounding no. He's going to back away and save the AWP, which for me is a smart play. You still have a buffer of rounds. It's not like you're chasing a huge deficit. They're actually in the lead. No point throwing away these little advantages. So Penta will get double digits, and this is a lot better than I was expecting when we went back to that first half performance. So all credit to them, but ENCE are still in this one. They're going to have an AWP in the next round. There's no way Penta get to Alu before the time runs out.
Yeah, not at all. So I was thinking there was a chance because maybe if Penta had less time or they got a little flustered and just again tried to get the bomb down on B, then Alu could have gotten there really, really quick, maybe quicker than they would have expected. But they make the right play. They just take that bomb up to the CT backhaul, plant onto A, and that pretty much 100% is the round for Penta. Of course, the op is a big save, and this might actually be better for Penta. They will lose their double op setup. It will now just be Crystal, and then 4 AKs. Everyone with utility, actually, on both teams.
Alu keeping the AWP because he had a perfect spawn to push up Fountain. Typically, you drop that to Stonda, but he had a really good spawn for that one. Doesn't spot anybody, so the information has been grabbed in the early stages. Still a lot of time to play with, though, of course. That information,
he tosses it back.
Definitely does fade. Yeah, they switch out. It's purely off the basis of that spawn. He's like, guys, I've got a 6 spawn for Fountain. Give me the AWP. Have a quick peek. See if I can get the early frag. If not, I'll just pull back. So, solid, smart plays, but Penta gave nothing away.
Oh, jump spot. Zart has seen everything. They've also seen Zart, but unable to really punish that. Mike S has taken some early damage into this round. It's Penta that's still trailed by 2, but are slowly working their way back in this. That's going to be 3 rounds in a row now on the T side. They're trying to do even more. About to set it execute into B. And there's 2 people in barrels, actually. These Molotovs are about to do a world of hurt. And look at Sunny. Oh, dodging off bullets and pushing through the smoke, but he's going too fast. He's body blocking him up. Do they have any indication of this? No, they don't. He's playing it perfectly. Coming away with nothing, but Lau will kill Mike S, so it's something. The damage done by Sunny, of course. And Zart standing in between 2 smokes, caught on a reload, though, and whoa, chopped down. He got force pushed off the ledge. And ENCE will hold on the site.
That was so awkward.
Yeah, I don't even know what that round was.
Push through the smoke. He tags up a couple players. Lowell then team kills his mate in the back of the head. It was like clown school. I don't even know what I just witnessed. But ENCE, regardless, will be taking down the round for themselves. And now Penta dip into the back pocket. They pull out all their spare change. They buy the weapons with it. They have nothing now to fall back on. If ENCE take this, they will break Penta and they'll be in a great position to pick up this first map. Another good spawn for ENCE has been used from Yuho up on balloon, so now he's going to back away. Play this passively, as do Penta. I'd love to watch that little play again through Monster. There's so many like little parts to it. At one point, two players got blocked by him, and I thought they were just going to spam through there, but they may have been worried in case their teammate was just ahead of them.
It can also be kind of hard to tell, even if you do get blocked when you're in a smoke.
Yeah, especially through Monster, which is like quite a closed-off area anyway. You may have thought he's just jumping across the top of the little tunnel.
Yeah.
Oh, rip Lowell.
And shot from Stonda. Yuho playing up in the bathrooms and does give a quick peek out to Tassin. Yuho's actually lost that angle a couple times, so he was ready to just quick peek it and pre-firing it pretty much. Will bring down Tassin. Yuho has since fallen. Taps in there on the trade out, but a little too late since they gave up that early man at long. It's ENCE with the 4-man to 3 of Penta. They've got the advantage here. Pretty late now into round 24.
Just such a stalemate situation for Penta. It's almost heads you win, tails I lose mentality. They're low on time, they're low on weaponry. They do have utility to use, but they've got to get the next kill. It's going to be Crystal. Spins across, does connect onto Alu. Nice shot, but he took 90 damage as a result of that one. So it's going to be hard for him to push onto the site. Now Stonda stands up tall. He's going to trade it out. If the call comes across that he was low, why does he peek that? That effectively gives a free plant away. Zartane on the truck. He's been picked up as well. So this is so sloppy. Sonny's getting wrecked by the Molotov, but meanwhile, he's down to just 44. Sprays through the smoke. And now it's Mykes versus Sonny. He has a general idea of where Mykes could be. And there we go. Penta are going to get the clutch. And I've got to say, Stonda, nice first shot. Why do you repeat that, though? Just fall back. The time was so low.
Say Stonda maybe needs to buy a new watch, because if he was checking the time, there's no way he peaks that. And you hate to point players out, but that round is a big percentage of Stonda's fault.
And now look at the economy as a result. ENCE into an eco right off the back of that decision.
See, I think the problem is when players are actually good at the game, they have the confidence to go for peaks, where like when I play, I'm like, I'm terrible. I'm just going to buy some time behind this box. And maybe ultimately make the smarter play, but I mean, when you're used to hitting shots and, you know, you're kind of that mentality. He had hit 2 very nice shots on that round. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to win it. When in reality, he would have simply won it if he just sat behind the box.
Yeah. It's frustrating to watch, but at the same time, the first shot he landed was pretty sick. So the adrenaline may have been surging. He felt like he was immortal, you know, unbeatable. And it does happen to players, of course. You know, you just get carried away in the heat of the moment. You don't check the time. And again, if he just backs away, Penta then have to check a couple more angles. They have to go for that force plant, and in doing so, you're expecting the pincer movement, the flank to come from ENCE and an easy denial. As it stands, though, ENCE go for the force buy in this round, and XM on Alu. We've seen this a couple of times over the last few days. Oh, he's picked up the first kill. He may even get a second one. Lowell very nearly walks into it. So 1-for-1 trade. A shotgun for an AK is actually pretty much a worthwhile endeavor for ENCE, I would say, overall, but this puts a lot of pressure on the rest of ENCE. They have to start getting these kills. It's all well and good getting the first kill, but if you just collapse afterwards, it's all for nothing.
There's Zart in construction. He'll bring down Lau. Now Sunny with the FAMAS on the site. Good for 1. Crystal and Mykes, though, immediately chiming back with 2 of their own. So that'll even it up to a 2-on-2. Stonda and Yuho not going to plant yet. They have a minute to go. They're like, you know what? Maybe let's check everything and clear it out. Stonda's been spotted in the back halls. No utility on the retake, no kits here for ENCE. Surely this is Penta's round to tie it up, but still, anything could happen. 2 flashes here on Mykes, that's all they really have. Not a lot of cover for the plant themselves. I think they're worried about being up down through the sight box when they go for this plant.
35 seconds left. Stonda doesn't want to peek too much because of how low he is. And Mykes is trying to fake that sight so that it draws out one of these CTs. The tag comes in, but it was partially through the wall, so he's down to 10. This is where you'd love to have a grenade in the hands of ENCE just to toss it onto the site. And this time Mike.S is going to hold down, and he will get the plant. Yuho, Stonda, what do you have in store? This is definitely a salvageable situation in a 2v2. And there we go, it's just got a whole lot better. Crystal with the AWP. Hasn't had the greatest of games so far, but this could be his moment to shine. Misses the first flick shot, Stonda's there. He's going to be expecting the second player up on the barrels. No, he's not. Yuho will secure ENCE, pick up their 14th round. But another very close confrontation. And ENCE aren't out of the woods just yet because their economy still isn't there. With that bomb plant, Penta will be able to get full AKs in this next round.
Man, and the Tortoise wins the race, right? Like, Mike.S, 10 HP. He got tagged through that sight box trying to plant the bomb. Honestly, if he just sits behind the sight box, they probably win that round. But, you know, they wait him out, and Mike.S played himself. He goes for a quick little flash off the right side of the box, tries to peek out, dies, and that pretty much makes the retake possible for ENCE. I mean, it is a very, very hard and uncomfortable position from Mike.S's point of view to just sit on the site with 10 HP and literally do nothing at that point. But it's, I think, a better chance on the round if he stays put.
So solid buy for both teams. Yeah, back in familiar territory. ENCE have typically picked up most of the rifle rounds so far. Just when their economy has been decimated from Penta, where they've really struggled. Now, the downside is that they do have full weapons, but only one smoke left with a minute and 20 to play with. That could be an issue as we progress through. No incendiaries either. A lot of flashes and a HE, but it's not the most healthy amount of grenades. Whereas on the opposite side of the spectrum, Penta have 2 mollies, 4 smokes. In actual fact, 3 mollies, pardon me. So let's see how they can use this. Playing very passively at ENCE though. Sometimes when a team has a lack of utility, you see them go aggressively, but ENCE just playing very, very deep defensive.
Yeah, they will take the sign boost here back in the A site. That's Alu up top with his A4. So that will forfeit a decent amount of map control. You can see controlling short and long A here are Penta, so they're able to go ahead and possibly stage up a full-on execute. Some flashes going over, and if long falls, they're going to be in a really bad situation. It's up to Ston to protect his boys. Flash is going to go down. I think that allows Tapson to know that someone was playing super close. Stonda able to peek through that smoke, grabs one, but Tapson and Crystal before him have each got a frag. And now it's going to be a 4-on-2 with Lau getting another entry onto the site. Smoke wall goes down. Not the best wall. The smoke on the site could be positioned over towards the truck a little bit more, but that allows Lau to maneuver through that gap. And, man, he hits 3 shots at opening up that site. Well, like 1 or 2 to open it up, and then that last one there to close it out. But good round from Lau overall, the newest member of this Penta lineup, back within striking distance of ENCE.
The key moment of that round may seem really unimportant, but actually I think it was massive. There was a pop flash that came out from the boost that was looking towards bathroom, but then another flash was thrown from Penta at the same time, so it actually neutralized that flashbang. I feel like what they wanted to do was pop flash, then peek and try and get like a double or triple spray down. So as soon as that doesn't work, then the pincer comes in and Penta just executes to perfection. That one little passage of play, just purely timing, wrecked ENCE. And now they're in a force buy. If they lose this, they're on the brink of defeat, by the way. Like, they are so close to losing overpass.
Yeah, what is happening here? ENCE, I mean, maybe a chance for one more rifle round by the time Penta gets the match point. But ENCE, I mean, maybe they'll just force buy themselves out of this. There's a dink coming over to Crystal, but Yuho doesn't finish him off. So now Penta 5-on-4. Dangerous little bit of the stack there inside of the stairs, but Penta going to completely avoid it. No need to go back there. They've got control of the A site. Still haven't quite cleared everything out, but Tapson's not too worried about it. They're going to plant the bomb in the smoke. Tasson clearing out the bathrooms, those post-plant locations, saying... Actually, where did they end up planting? I don't think they planted... No, they didn't plant for bathrooms. They planted for CT, so they better get over there and control those back halls. Turns out it won't matter, because ENCE aren't going to go for it, but...
Situation, though, where ENCE will be trying to save all these weapons up. And again, I think it's a situation whereby their economy was in such a poor state that they felt like they couldn't get a solid buy anyway, so trying to force the issue here, if they could get a couple weapons away from Penta and save them, then they're in a fairly decent place. You can see there on the scoreboard, over the last 8 rounds, they've won 2 of them, but they haven't won them back-to-back, so they've built no economy up in the process. That's why they're constantly pretty much broke in a bargain bucket buy. So this is their only chance of getting something done. Again, it's going to be pistols with the Mag 7. Penta Sports are looking so good right now.
Penta Sports are so hot right now.
Hence, you're so hot right now.
Yeah, ENCE. I like, though, that as soon as they lost that first player, they just went for the save. So now the force that seemed silly ultimately was going to be okay because they're going to go for a double eco, and now they just get to use everything they bought 2 rounds in a row. So they'll still be slightly armed and dangerous going into this one. Chance to take some guns away, and they will have a chance for 1 more rifle. Granted, it won't be very strong. They'll have like FAMAS armor and some nades, or maybe an M4 and no nades. But maybe it won't come to it. Stonda and Alu each getting frags. Alu 2 CZ kills over here in the stairs, make it a third as he pulls out the AK, and things just fell apart. Penta have fallen down the stairs. They can't get up. They need life alert.
Is he going to get another one, though? No. Ladies and gents, that is how you bait a teammate to perfection. That was a setup from ENCE. They did not expect the double stack at all, and it demolished them. Mykes is still in a position, though, where he could clutch this out. Yuho has no Kevlar whatsoever. Zarte only with a flash and a 5.7, just a Mag 7 for Sunny. This is still winnable. It's unlikely if ENCE play this properly, but it's still doable. And the other saving grace for Mykes is the bomb hasn't been dropped in some horrific position where he has to worry about picking it up. He already has it. He has a molly, a smoke, and a flashbang with an AK. So these are the kind of 1v3s, if you were to be put in a 1v3, these are the situations that you want to be playing in. The problem is that he's pushing towards the stacked up A site, where 2 of the 3 players are currently residing. Now, this could get messy. And because he's playing it slowly as well, Joey, eventually he's going to have to charge onto the site and give his position away.
Yeah, time is getting really, really low. As then that is, whoa, what a cool setup actually from Zart and Yuho.
See, now he's going to have to start to run onto the site, otherwise he's going to time himself out, and doing so, ENCE are going to be just laid there waiting. I'm going to get the frag. It's going to be easy. The bomb did get planted, though, which is surprising, but ENCE playing that one very well, and that all comes off the back of Alu's 3-man. In a nutshell, Alu hiding in the corner of Connector, gets the drop on 2 players, converts a third, take a bow.
It's not like that's the first time he's done that either. We've seen him down there with pistols before. We've seen him down there with the XM1014, the auto shotgun, the man cannon, as I like to call it these days. So surprise it goes unchecked. Kevin actually crashed, our cameraman, on that round, so I don't think we quite saw the start of that. But yeah, I mean, you got to expect that it wasn't checked if Alu comes away with 2 frags right away. Or it's surely just the power of the CZ. Someone goes in to try to clean up the mess, and then Alu's armed with an AK, so it's an easy 3rd frag for him. And what a key round. So they get that force by, 2 rounds ago, lose it, but save almost everything from it, and then convert on the next one without buying anything. And now it's ENCE who are on match point first. And they've found the first pick on this round as well. Stonda will bring down Tassin.
Got to be heartbreaking for Penta being on the brink of victory, knowing it, and then getting force bought out with like CZs and Mag 7. That's got to hurt. That's the kind of stuff that can tilt players. And the fact they've lost the first player right off the bat from the hands of Tarsin, and Lowell is low as well. It's not looking good. A decent buy as well for ENCE after their previous surprise. What the?
And an id. That wasn't even an invisible corner. He threw that straight into
That
the
was
fence.
just straight up herp-a-derp throwing a nade against the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what to make of that, Crystal, to be honest. I guess the good news is he didn't do any damage to Tabson, who was right next to him, but, like, what the hell was that?
Did it kill
Sunny
WoW?
is here. Sunny's here with the AK, and if they line up for him, he will be able to get this spray down effect and a pop flash off the pillar. Eats a Molotov for his troubles, but only 14 HP is taken away. ENCE looking a commanding position right now.
Oh, his flashes, though.
Yeah, they're just keeping Penta bundled up, but Crystal explodes out, but there's nothing. Triple spray down. Mike gets it, trying to answer back with a couple of his own. 2 kills are exchanged back. 30 seconds of the time, but he's down to 24. No flashes, no smoke, gonna have to go in raw. And Yuho is there. ENCE somehow dodge multiple bullets and take the first map, but to be honest, Penta should have had that.
Yeah. I mean, either way, not as convincing as people would have expected, right? This ENCE lineup has had some time to practice. They're playing on Overpass, which obviously they must have been scrimming and working on behind the scenes, because as far as I know, we don't have any official matches for this team on Overpass. But it's not a map that Penta really plays either, so the fact that it goes that close, I mean, maybe it says that maybe ENCE aren't quite ready yet, or Penta are perhaps getting better and adjusting well with their new 5, but I'm not too convinced. Like, the first half was pretty sketch. Penta were very lucky to come away with those last 4 rounds. Some very, very clutch situations, and that one key round that started that streak of 4 at the end of the first half came down to someone just missing shots through a smoke, right? Like a round they probably should have won for ENCE, which would have just made a dominant first half, probably 10-5 or 11-4. And then ENCE were making some really questionable decisions on the CT side. They weren't playing all that well. Penta didn't look too shabby on the T side, though, hitting the entries. Lau was doing a good job of that. But I don't know. I'm glad it's a best of 3, so we can see these teams go at it again and see if we can't make sense of this, because I would expect ENCE to be winning more convincingly.
Well, the frustrating thing from both teams' perspective is there was moments of brilliance and moments of hope. ENCE had a sublime mid portion of their T half where they looked unstoppable. They picked up 7 or 8 rounds in a row. There's nothing that Penta could do. They called the timeout, then they were able to bring it back. So ENCE have the ability to play very well on overpass. Their issue was CT side. As a result of a couple of iffy force buys, I would say, which is the same issue Hellraisers had yesterday against Empire. But whereas Hellraisers were punished and ended up losing that map, ENCE were able to just about hold on. But I think it's a bit of column A, column B. I don't think ENCE are necessarily as well oiled as I originally thought on overpass, and Penta did make some horrible mistakes there. They'll be very disappointed they currently trail 1-0. They should be winning right now.
Yeah, but we get to go over to Inferno now. This was the pick of Penta for anyone just joining us. ENCE obviously having picked Overpass and third map if we need it. And we might at this rate. That will be Cobble. And I know that Penta are generally a pretty decent team here on Inferno, have some depth to their T side. So I think we're in for a show as we continue this first best of 3. Penta versus ENCE here in CEVO-Gfinity Season 9, a Pro League. I'm Helium. With me is Metuz. You can follow us up on Twitter if you like the cast. I'm at Heliumbrella. Metuz there at Metuz TV. And also, if you want to watch all of CEVO-Gfinity, both European and North American action, you can follow or sub to the channel here. That's twitch.tv/playcevo. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we return, we'll have Inferno.